What's the most kind/beautiful thing you've overheard about yourself by accident? I don't have a lot of coworkers, about 13 altogether, and I only work directly with 4 to 5. But when I was in the break room I heard a few of them talking about a coworker they don't like, saying she's rude to everyone. And one of them said she's pretty nice to whatever my name is. And the other said, well, everyone likes whatever my name is, pretty hard not to. It was hard to walk back in there and not be like, love you too, thanks guys. This isn't my story, but it's my favorite. My college professor researched Egyptian mummified cats. He was back at the British Museum looking at some cats and they had a staff shift while he was still in there. He started talking to the new guy on his way out and the guy says, if you're interested in mummified cats, you should talk to Professor's name. He's the world's expert in mummified cats. My professor was speechless for a moment and then said him Professor's name, and that's how he learned he was the world's expert. Edit. Whoa, thanks not just for the silver but also for the huge response. I'll let my old professor know next time I see him. Was home from college and my parents thought I was asleep. Heard them complimenting each other on how they did a good job raising me. I had a girl over, first time dating in years, and my roommate, female, super close friend, was there as well. Heard my roommate say, I know he's shy and a little awkward at first but give it a shot, he's super sweet and really funny once he's comfortable, he's worth the effort. Gave me a huge much needed boost since I struggle with confidence and usually don't like myself. My dad doesn't really compliment people. He's the quiet type that hides behind jokes and sarcasm. However, I once heard him talk to an old friend of his at a Christmas party, saying, that's my kid right there. Pure rock and roll, just like his old man. Never gives up, just keeps steaming on like a freight train. I tell ya, some kids just have that fire, you know? I worked really hard on creating an art project for my first grade class. I heard one student say to the other, this is the best project we've had all year. My old band was due to play in a bar. I was stood ordering a drink and I overheard two people discussing the band. Apparently they'd heard the guitarist, me was amazing. Was on a conference call with one of our clients and they didn't know I was on it, or hadn't heard I was there as I was just taking notes, and they said, it's a shame Lan Tussalostar isn't on this call as I'd like him to know that he's positively changed the working life of many people and his work was much appreciated. I had to walk away and cry as it was my last day. My wife's family said I was the rock in their family. Heard a girl compliment my looks to her friends in my second language. She never figured out I could understand what she was saying. I wouldn't even consider myself attractive, so it was nice, I guess. At a party I overheard my so bragging to the others about my pasta and my cooking in general, like they should be jealous he gets to eat my food regularly. It made me happy. I know he likes my cooking, but him telling others about it when I'm not in the room was a big confidence boost. Edit, raw word speech edits. I was joking around with some acquaintances at a party and somebody got me with a really funny joke. I started giggling like a madman and I heard a girl on the other end of the room turn to my sister and say, I just love his laugh, it's so happy. And she responded, I know. That still makes me smile when I remember. I was at a party at the residence of the dude I am now married to. His room was the room with the iPod and the residents carefully guarded it and set me with the task of keeping the music going, a task I took seriously. I was in there planning the next playlist when I heard him through the window say, I'm pretty sure she's a lot smarter than me and way out of my league. I was with two friends at a bar, one of whom I've known for half my life and one I met more recently. While I was at the bar ordering a drink, the newer friend said to the other, you know, my name is such a great judge of character. I know that anyone who he calls a friend is someone I can always get along with. And then they spent like 5 minutes, long line at the bar, discussing all the things they like about me. Once, at a drive-thru, I was given an extra $20 bill change by accident. I gave it back to the clerk, and as I drove away I heard her turn to her coworker and say what an honest guy. Then I heard her coworker say yeah he was really hot, too. I blushed so hard the whole way home with my greasy cheeseburger. I'm a journalist. When I was working a news internship at a local TV station, I was asked to go do some quick man-on-the-street interviews on the other side of town. After we got back to the newsroom, I heard the camera guy, a veteran of like 30 years who's worked with some of the best reporters in my city, say to our executive producer, "You know, that kid's a real journalist." Gave me the biggest confidence boost ever as an intern. I'm now employed full-time at that news outlet as of 4 days ago. Edit. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who commented. In an often thankless job, it means a lot to hear such kind words of support. Merry Christmas. When I taught second grade I caught girls passing a note in my class. I took the note from them and read it. Mrs. Pretty dyed her hair as pretty, her whole body as pretty. I was like, please don't pass any more notes in class but thank you and am keeping this forever. Edit. I remembered it a little differently than the real thing, which is here and is very lengthy but I just cut it for the most relevant part. https://imgur.com gallery error 4 ioj. Was at a party with classmates. Decided to stay the night and overheard some girls talking about me being handsome while they thought I was asleep. I wasn't. I wanted to see if the positive post of the similar negative post could gain any traction, because in my mind I would rather scroll through the positive than the negative today. So I am going to share as well, and the following is one I remember. I am a guy and used to be a waiter while a student. It was a quiet shift and while I was busy cleaning up I overheard some of the waitresses say that I have a cute butt. Now at that time as a self-conscious and shy guy trying not to act it, it meant a lot to me. Edit. I am still trying to figure this out, but holy shit, gold and silver. Thanks so much. I'll see if I can get a pickup after popular demand. Edit 2, but sfw http://imgur.com spook. The only picture I have, and thanks everyone for the great comments and replies. Happy holidays. A couple of students were chatting about how much they enjoyed my class. Edit. Thank you very much for the silver. And folks, if you have a teacher you've ever loved, try to let them know. In the exhausting sea of paperwork and disinterest, those little casual comments you make about liking a class or learning something useful, they mean much more than you think to us. And, in fact, you do too. Make sure to enjoy Christmas, but don't forget to review your materials next week. It's best to skim it so you don't forget anything over the break. I worked in a call center for a while and we weren't meant to hang up first. The system saw calls where we hung up as fishy and would need to be reviewed, so they messed up our stats. And one day after setting a lady up with a cheaper than subscription, she didn't hang up properly and I heard her say that lady was really lovely. I had to go away from the calls for a minute cause it made me really emotional. That job was tough, so it was nice to see I wasn't becoming a dick. My friend and colleague talking to another colleague. I'm acquaintances with my friend's mom through a hobby we both do. Friend says my mom loves carrot eggs, she talks about her all the time. Made my day, because the lady is so nice. I was visiting my old workplace after leaving a couple years prior. As I was walking away from an old employee, I overheard a new person ask who I was. She replied, "That's Kwame, he is the reason I was able to become a manager. I am an hour manager by trade." That almost made me cry on the spot. I was hospitalized for 6 months after a suicide attempt as a teenager. I had to go to school in the hospital. I love languages and every week a French teacher would come in and give me French lessons. She gave me an essay to write for homework and I wrote about my illness. I overheard her telling my nurse that it was a joy to correct my work. It might not seem like much, but to a 17-year-old girl who felt totally worthless, it meant the whole world. I wish I could tell that teacher that I'm almost finished my degree in modern languages now.